School's nearly out, but we've got homework. Grads, taxes, fundraisers, trains, and time capsules. Welcome to the Jersey Oddcast with Joseph F. Berenato, Gabriel J. Donio, and me, Gina Rullo. What's happening, guys?
Everything, it seems.
Well,
Yeah.
everything all at once. That was a movie, right? Recently.
Yeah, everything, everywhere, all at once. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the one that Short Round won the Oscar for.
He did Short Round, and with the people with the hot dog fingers. I don't know. I really didn't follow it, but
No, but yeah, that was a movie, and it accurately describes it.
there's a lot going on, man. We got
School,
graduations.
school's
All sorts.
almost done. Hammonton Middle School graduation is the same night that this podcast drops. High school graduation is the next day. And then school's out for the summer. I can't believe how quickly
School's out
it's gone by.
for summer.
We're singing a little tune over here. You know this tune?
School's out
for
forever.
ever. Yeah, do you know this song?
I like the original.
Yeah, no, our version pales in comparison.
Gabe, I have to ask because I didn't see it come in the mail and maybe it came to your personal email. Were you invited to speak at graduation this year?
Sadly, once again, no. I
Rob.
was not invited. Once again, my invitation to speak at graduation at my alma mater of Hammonton High School never made it to me. You didn't see it, right?
No, this is sad.
Maybe I need to call them and update the address or something. I'm not sure. But after so many years, it may be possible they don't want me to speak at the graduation ceremony.
I can't imagine why.
Impossible.
You guys are hurtful or hurtfully accurate. But anyway, this is like the recent, I don't know if you guys follow the Spaceballs thing, that there's going to be a new Mel Brooks Spaceballs movie.
Yep.
But there was a little teaser where he said, we listened to what the people said, and we're going to do the movie anyway. So, in true Mel Brooks fashion. So, I'm listening to what the school district said, but here is the speech I would have given if I had been invited back to the high school that provided so many memories back in the late 1980s and early 1990s.
Okay, wow, it's with your speech.
Oh, yeah. President Lyons, Vice President Koya, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent Ramsey, Principal Matina, faculty, staff, parents, family, friends, and most importantly, members of the Hammonton High School class of 2025. Let me give you some fatherly advice today. Not from me. I am not a father, but I had a father and a father-in-law, and they both gave outstanding advice. I'd like to take some time today as you are preparing to leave high school and give you some wisdom from my late father, Frank G. Donio, and my late father-in-law, Bob Rullo. After all, graduation day is being held on June 18th. Father's Day was on June 15th. I figured I would give you the two best pieces of advice I ever received, which came from my father and my father-in-law, respectively. Frank Donio gave me a life lesson when I was in my teens, just a little younger than you graduates are today, with his simple but profound advice about business and life. It's in 3 parts and goes like this. Don't worry about what the other person is doing. Worry about what you do. And let the other person worry about you. Think about that, graduates. It will remain with you for the rest of your lives. I heard it more than 35 years ago, and it has served me well in many situations. My father-in-law, Bob Rullo, always treated me like I was his own. That doesn't always happen, but it did with him and me. He told me a Sicilian saying that also became part of my life lessons, one I can always draw on in many different situations, similar to my father's advice. Here is what Bob told me years ago. Nobody's ever going to tell you to wash your face so you can look better than me. Graduates, that is so true. Maybe you have already encountered some examples in your own life where each of these examples of fatherly advice have helped you. Now you have the phrases to keep in your minds so you can deal with whatever life may throw your way. Congratulations to the Hammonton High School class of 2025. I know Frank Donio and Bob Rullo would be proud of each and every one of you, your parents, your family, and your friends. I am very proud of you all as well. Have a great evening and good luck in the future.
Very nicely done, Gabe. Very nice.
Thanks, guys. I only feel badly that I'll never have a chance to actually give it, but that's okay.
It's
Maybe next year.
Yeah, and it's
Right?
recorded now for posterity. You could next year stand outside of the high school like John Cusack and just hold it up and play it.
That would be a great way to do it, Joe. That would be actually, that may actually be what I do. Or rent one of those cars like the Blues Brothers
Yes.
and drive around with a big megaphone in the parking lot and just have it going. I don't know. Listen,
I think the kids know what that reference is.
No,
to the
no,
Blues Brothers,
but
no, it's not for the kids. It's maybe not even for the parents anymore. I'm not sure.
if I'm not mistaken, though, Koya almost did something similar this year when he was running, but it was more reminiscent of re-elect Mayor Goldie Wilson from Back to the Future, and they may get that reference because
Right.
that is a lot more popular.
Or less popular, vote for the name from the distinguished gentleman.
Jeff Johnson.
Jeff Johnson. It's great. But hey, look, Hammonton First for years had the truck with the audio, and they would just be throughout Hammonton. So this is all old school. But no, look, the main thing out there is to remember a couple of great guys who influenced me a great deal. Gina's dad, my dad, and say something. Hopefully the graduates remember. Give them a little something to walk out of there and think about.
It's good advice. It's very good advice.
Since we're talking about the school district, why don't we stay on that theme? Are they having a tax increase this year, Gabe?
They are, Gina. It's not that significant. We've talked about the municipal side, and now here we are at the school side. According to board president John Lyons, we had a conversation and an interview about this. This year's tax increase will be 2 cents. The budget itself is now at $73,515,760 for the district-wide budget. And John had some things to say about it. I'll give you a couple of his quotes. Mainly that it was the increase. There's nothing in it, he said, that is dramatically new and different that we have than what we've continued to offer. They do have 2 one-time capital improvements in playgrounds, 2 separate playgrounds. And there's some new staff, but they've also had some people leave. They really have, as he put it, plussed up the foreign language programs. A lot of hiring has been done in the multilingual area, especially at the ECEC and SOY levels of schools, the Early Childhood Education Center and Warney Soy Junior Elementary School. Throughout the district, he's mentioned that there's 355 kids who are non-English speaking students. I believe we have just over 3,000. I don't have the exact number of district-wide kids, but just to give you an idea what 355 kids is to the district that are non-English speaking. And then lastly, he just mentioned that from grades 7 through 12, regarding the Waterford and Hammonton agreement, it's been around for more than 20 years. It has had an impact, obviously, on the school district. And I asked him, what did that mean for the budget each year? And he said, every dollar that they spend, depending on the student count, Waterford does pay a percentage of it, as does Folsom, but they're a smaller number. He said they're paying their fair share. Said the money that they receive in this year's budget is based on Waterford's numbers from 2 years ago. That's how the state does it. Folsom does the same thing. And mainly what he said was that what Waterford Township, especially with their numbers and hundreds of kids that they bring to the school district in grades 7 through 12, it allows the district to add programs and scale in a way that they couldn't if they were just Hammonton. So there's AP programs, athletics, clubs, organizations. If it was a Hammonton-only district, Lyons said that you may not have enough kids to have all the programs and scale things because there's only so many students. And he said with the addition of the Waterford kids, it pluses the student body up by 40% and gives them the ability to scale up the programs. And they also have the choice kids that they take on. So in his view, he said, I feel I'm doing a good job when there is something a kid can be passionate about and they can do it at the Hammonton School District, Lyons said. So that's it from the school district on the budget.
I appreciate that, Gabe. 2 cents doesn't seem that bad. Joe, what do you think?
No, not overly. I guess the school district didn't have the same coupon that the town did, because the town's only 1.99 cents. John, you could do better, but if this is what it is. But no, everything goes up. Lord knows, everything goes up. And it would logically follow then that the costs of the district also increase. So they've got to make up for that.
Yeah, and the argument 20 in 1999 was economies of scale and that the larger district will provide more different things. That has been up and down during the years. But I think right now, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong. We both went to Hammonton High School of the Hammonton only era. I just remember a lot of clubs that only had 10 kids in them, 12 kids in them. And there weren't, I just don't think there were the opportunities that the Hammonton School District now provides.
Especially since, you said that there were a lot more offerings in foreign language. I don't know what they offer now, but when I was in school, it was Spanish and Italian, and there were like 4 kids in French class, and that was it. And I'm reasonably certain they offer more than those 3 currently. They've got all sorts of journalistic and multimedia things, Gabe, that you and I could only have dreamt of when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we'd have had a TV studio?
Right. I don't know that I would have given us a TV studio, but yes, I mean, this is as close as it gets what we're doing now. No, I agree. The TV studio, obviously, the paper isn't the paper, but it's still, there's journalism being done online.
And journalism classes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And I think there are a lot more opportunities. One of the things that John Lyons also mentioned was that he understands that there is maybe a need for thinking about getting into more back again to the VOTech. We used to call the VOTech.
Good.
But the industrial arts, the things that were perhaps now, they do have cabinet making or wood shop. They do have some of it there, but they may want to, if budget permitting, get into a little bit more of that, which I think is great given that, look, the county wants to continue to grow its services. ACIT is growing.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So I think as a hedge, just like county court, where Hammonton had its own court, I think the school district needs to maybe understand that we're not Florida in New Jersey. We don't deliver our services on the county level. But sometimes I think that New Jersey wants to do that and cut out a lot of the municipal stuff. So it's a good hedge because I don't think ACIT is going to stop growing.
No, and they have seemed to move away from the vocational technical classes upon which they were founded, which is a shame because Lord knows there are students who know that they do not want to go to a traditional 4-year school. So they know that they don't need calculus, but they're interested in auto repair. They're interested in carpentry. Okay, seize upon that and offer that to the kids and give them direction. I think it's fantastic, especially when you consider how much money there are in those fields.
For sure. If people want to relocate to Hammonton, whether it's their home or their business, or anywhere in South Jersey, Gabe, who should they call?
Gina, they should go no further than Crowley and Carr Real Estate. If you're looking to buy or sell your home or commercial property in South Jersey, call Phil Carr, owner of Crowley and Carr Real Estate. Crowley and Carr is the best place in town to find the best place in town. Call them at 609-561-0505 or go to Facebook or Instagram.
Thanks, Gabe. Joe, Mount Carmel is going to be here in less than a month. What's going on? And maybe we don't have anything new, but let's talk about some of the stuff that people should be putting on their calendars to make sure they attend.
Okay, yeah. For the 9 days leading up to the actual feast day will be the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Novena that will run from Monday, July 7th through Tuesday, July 15th. On the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it will be held at 7 p.m., and that will be led by Father Anthony Manapella. On July 10th, 11th, and 12th will also be at 7 p.m., and that will be with Father Jeffrey Kirby. On Sunday, July 13th, it will be at 7 p.m. And then on July 14th and 15th, it will be at 5 p.m. And that will be Father Joseph Corolla, S.J. Now, the actual Mass schedule for the feast day, there will be an 8 a.m. Mass for intentions of all pilgrims. There will be a 10 p.m. Italian Mass, 10
10 p.m.
a.m. 10 a.m.
Okay,
Thank you.
Italian
that makes
Mass.
that
Yeah.
makes more sense. These late night club masses, I can't attend those.
Disco
th-
mass.
yeah. There will be a noon Spanish Mass. And then at 2 p.m., this is the big one. This will be the Mount Carmel Society Mass with the canonical coronation of the baby Jesus in honor of Our Lady. That will be performed by Bishop Joseph Williams on behalf of the Vatican. And at that Mass will also be the premiere of the Mass that the parish commissioned by Frank LaRocca. And then immediately following that will be the procession of the saints. And then right around 7 p.m. or depending on how long it takes for the procession to make its way down 3rd and then Fairview and then Egg Harbor Road and then Bellevue and then back up 3rd. They usually say the Mass will be at 6 and the Mass usually ends up being at 7:30. So right around 7 o'clock will be the Mass in Thanksgiving for the many prayers answered after the procession. And then, of course, that night at 10 p.m., fireworks.
Yeah,
No
those are
mass, but fireworks.
Yeah.
That's right. It's
Yeah.
a big
This is
day.
great.
It's a very big day. That's Italian Christmas. That's the day.
And it's good because a lot of people haven't seen the new bishop yet for our diocese, the Diocese of Camden. So to have him come here on July 16th, 2 p.m., that's going to be a special mass for that reason as well.
Especially when you consider that he has never been to the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel at all. The man is from Minnesota. So this will
We
be
need to
his.
feed him.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
will be his. He's going to get an education about what kind of food Hammonton has,
Yeah.
and he will be. He will be in the procession as well, and this will be his very first time here. So that's a big event, also.
Gabe, in order for everyone to see the bishop, to see the crown, and to get a better viewing point of the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel,
Yeah.
where should people get their glasses and contact lenses?
Hammonton Family Eye Care is the place, Gina. See Hammonton Family Eye Care for routine and medical eye care for all ages, from glasses to contacts to eye exams and more. Visit Hammonton Family Eye Care at Peachtree Plaza, 80 South Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton. Call 609-567-7479 or go to hammontonfamilyeyecare.com.
Thanks, Gabe. Joe, Hammonton is not the only place where people can go to church, and there's something special happening in Egg Harbor City.
Since you asked, the St. Nicholas Church at 525 St. Louis Avenue in Egg Harbor is having a time capsule opening. They put out a release that said, "Join us for a special day of faith, tradition, and fun." This event includes the opening of a Millennium Year 2000 Golden Jubilee time capsule. So that means that they buried it 25 years ago during the big Golden Jubilee year. Yeah, it's going to be held on Sunday, June 22nd. The schedule of events is 9:45. There will be a Corpus Christi procession. 10:30 a.m. there will be a bilingual mass, and at 12:30 there will be a time capsule dig and opening. So that'll be exciting. It's been there for 25 years. It'll be interesting to see what they deemed important in the year 2000 to put in the time capsule. Time capsules always fascinate me.
I'm trying to think
Always.
of what we would have put in 2000, especially from a religious perspective.
You said it was a Golden Jubilee year, so maybe some material related to that. And then a non-religious side, maybe a VHS tape of Conan O'Brien's in the year 2000. Yeah. It'd be great.
In the year 2000.
That's right. It would be great.
Maybe
Maybe
some
they have it.
newspapers, because there were more newspapers back then.
I definitely think there'd be like a Egg Harbor City News.
Yeah, I'd imagine newspapers, maybe a yearbook from one of the local schools, church bulletin, anything.
Photographs.
Floppy
Yeah.
disks,
Yeah, like
CDs,
a floppy disk. Religious CDs, religious music.
like a next telephone, tweet, tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I guarantee that battery's still good if nobody's been using it.
Yep.
That thing's
Why not?
probably still getting calls.
Why not? It's
Yeah.
probably it's funny. That reminds me, Joe, of a famous story, not about cell phones, but about radio. I have an old car, a 53 Chevy, that I did drive to high school since we brought up Hammonton High School. And I had a friend back then who I got the car and she famously asked me if it only got music from the 1950s on the radio, on the AM radio. So I wonder if that cell phone only takes phone calls from Al Gore and W. That'd be great. Pick it up.
And 2000 is such an interesting year because it's pre 2001, obviously. Terrorism was not as, it
Prevalent.
was big, but not as, didn't touch us as much. You could walk through the airport with your shoes on and dignity intact.
Oh, not only that, my friends and I a couple of weeks ago just went to see Dogma again
Oh,
in
great movie.
theaters. And it
Yeah.
opens, the way it opens up is, man, this is a world that is gone and I don't think it's ever going to come back, because Loki and Bartleby, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's characters, are sitting in an airport at the arrival gate as
Right.
people are deplaning.
Yeah.
You
Like, they
can't
could
do
just,
that
no,
anymore.
that's not even
Like
part
back
of it.
then, you could just walk in, you could go sit at the gate and watch people. You could go and get your currency changed. You could go to the duty free shop if you wanted to. You can't do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in and of itself, that's 25 years old. That was a time capsule. So, this actual literal time capsule, I'll be fascinated to see what's in it, because it
Yeah.
was a different world 25
Well,
years.
yeah. And by the way, interesting to bring up Dogma in relationship to the time capsule.
It's a nice synergy.
Thank you.
That's great. So, but no, I do think it's great that they're doing it after only 25 years, because what I like about this, and maybe no one has mentioned this, is that the people who were there when they buried it are still with us, most of them. And I'm sure they could come out and it's not some like 100 years later or
Yeah.
75 years later. The people who were involved 25 years ago, I'm sure a lot of them can enjoy the fact, oh, we buried this in 2020, 2000, and now we're going to open it in 2025. So
That's
that's
very
kind of
cool.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we should start a time capsule and bury some of our merch in it so that people 25 years from now can know what the best podcast in New Jersey was like. I love the mug, Gabe. Where can people get Oddcast merchandise if they want to wear their Oddcast gear proudly or not so proudly?
Well, like Gabe, if you want mugs, we got them. If people want tumblers, magnets, I got a hat around here somewhere. We got them.
Sharp hat.
T-shirts, it absolutely is, and it comes in green and black. We've got T-shirts, including our exclusive "Running of the Sandwiches" design. We've got them, and all
I wanna-
profits. Go
I want
ahead.
to make a point. Hammonton Board of Education President John Lyons loves the running of the sandwiches T-shirt. He made a mention of it to me, and just wanted you guys to know he's
That's
a big
exciting.
fan. Big fan.
That's fantastic. And remember, all profits now through July 1st will benefit the Feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And you can find all of this at jersey-oddcast.printify.me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Joe and Gina, I've been giving out some of this merch to our sponsors for supporting us the way they do, and they love it. They love everything about it, and it's kudos Gina to designing such a cool logo for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Jersey Oddcast.
It's all teamwork. Have you brought any to our show sponsor, Diversified Insurance, Gabe?
Gina, I have not yet seen Michael DeRose with a mug or a trucker hat.
I think you love rocking in a trucker hat. It's better than a Yankee cap.
Yeah, it would be better than a Yankees fan. Speaking as a Red Sox fan to your Mets fan, yes, definitely would be better. But I will say this: foam and mesh looks great on so many people. I see no problem with it. Diversified Insurance, I do have to say that you should see Diversified Insurance for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. They are a value-added firm. They provide unsurpassed service, consult with you to determine your needs, and offer you a choice of insurance plans and programs. They are a value hunter who can find the best combination of coverage, service, and price. Contact them today at 609 567 7771 or visit their website at diversifiedinsuranceofnj.com.
Thanks, Gabe. Joe, I was excited to read about the news for St. Joseph Academy. Let's fill in the listeners.
You got it. Last week, St. Joseph Academy announced the acquisition of Euro Sports Center LLC, a premier indoor sports facility located at 1524 Grant Street in Egg Harbor City. According to a release from the school, this development marks a major milestone in the growth of SJA's athletic program, as it becomes the only school in South Jersey to own and operate its own indoor training complex. The 30,000 square foot Euro Sports Center has long been known for serving athletes across multiple sports with year round indoor access. The facility features a 221 foot by 118 foot synthetic turf surface, which the release says is perfect for sports including soccer, lacrosse, field hockey, baseball, and softball. Additionally, the facility is also planning to serve as a hub for community programming, hosting camps, clinics, leagues, and student life events. The school's athletic director, Timothy Fingerhut, said that the acquisition will allow the students to train year-round, elevate their programs, and create more opportunities for student athletes. And the school's board president, Jeffrey Umasella, said, "This acquisition reflects our unwavering commitment to student opportunity and growth. It's not just about athletics, it's about creating an environment where our students can reach their full potential on and off the field." Now, over the summer months, the facility will undergo a series of upgrades, including the installation of a brand new state-of-the-art turf surface. Enhancements will also be made to the clubhouse and supporting infrastructure to better meet the needs of the student athletes, coaches, and families, and the newly updated complex is expected to open its doors in early fall of this year.
That's super
So,
cool. What a great advantage for the students there. I'm excited to see it. I just wish it was in Hammonton so they didn't have as far of a bus ride. But, like, how cool.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you think about it, you can say what you want about how they get there. Obviously, we had a diocesan school, we had a parish school, we had St. Joe's was the Palatines, it was the religious teachers, Filippini, and now it's St. Joe Academy. But you can't say they don't get where they want to go. You have a over at the park that's on Moss Mill Road in
Hmm.
Hammonton. You have this facility. You have their facility as a school at Central Avenue and Vine Street. Father Joe Mongeri, we talked about a lot of priests today with Mount Carmel, and I was an altar server underneath him. He was from Brooklyn, and they had a saying he said in Brooklyn, which was, "Put your money where your mouth is." These guys have been in business now for 5 years, and they have stayed in
Yeah.
business and expanded. So I'm just looking at the whole thing. It could have gone under. It's gone the other way. So I think a lot of people, some people may be surprised at that. I'm not. I agree with Gina. It would be great to have them all in Hammonton, but we do have the baseball field is at the Lake Park. Mossville Park has the turf field that they play football on, and now they'll have this
Hmm.
facility in Egg Harbor City, and they'll have their main facilities down
We
there.
also use the turf field for other sports too, like field hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just for football, but that's where their football field is. I don't. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's. That's why I refer to it as a turf field and not a football field.
And I think the only thing they really need is a basketball facility and for any other indoor gym sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can
And
they
like
do
Yeah.
that
wrestling,
here?
things like
Do we know? Can they do that in this new facility?
I
Or
don't see it listed.
okay.
So maybe
That's
that's something they can expand on and build so they have a home court, literally, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But we'll see. It's very exciting for St. Joe, and I just think it's another asset to have in the community to have two schools and to bring this little revitalization to Egg Harbor City. We talked about Egg Harbor City Shines last week. I think this adds into that too.
Oh, no
Yeah.
doubt about it. Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about it, we talked about a almost 73 million or more than $73 million budget for the Hammonton School District, and you're talking about St. Joe Academy investing in Egg Harbor City. These two school districts, they are a economic engine in the
Oh,
middle
yeah.
of the town, and not just in town. In the case of St. Joe Academy,
Yeah.
Gabe, can you remind people about the fundraiser that's coming up for a local family that was affected by a fire?
I can. Let me talk about that a little bit. We all know who we're talking about, but I'll revisit it. There is a special event coming up in Hammonton and coming together for one of our own. It's going to be Saturday, June 21st from 2 to 6 p.m. It's called Cheers and Comfort for a Hammonton firefighter family, and it's going to be held at 51 North Whitehorse Pike. The benefit is in support of the DiGiovanni and Angelo family, who recently lost their home in a devastating fire. For years, this family has dedicated themselves to serving and protecting others, and they're asking people now to step up and support them. So the afternoon provides great food, beer, music, raffles, live entertainment from the Knockouts, the South Jersey band, known from covering everything from top 40 hits to classic favorites. Tickets are only $25. All proceeds will go directly to helping the family rebuild. For more information, email hammontonfire2@gmail.com. And they just ask, look, let's show this family they're not alone and that Hammonton takes care of its own.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another family that's been taking care of Hamiltonians and South Jersey for years is the Marinella family. Can you tell us, Gabe, about Marinella Funeral Home, please?
Marinella Funeral Home has been serving the community since 1962 and has been family owned and operated for 3 generations. Marinella Funeral Home provides individually designed burial, cremation, and pre planned funeral services to meet the needs of each family. Ask them about how pre planning provides true peace of mind to your family. Contact the Marinella Funeral Home, located at 102 North 3rd Street in Hammonton, at 609 561 1311.
Thanks, Gabe. According to published reports, a New Jersey appeals court has upheld a $1.5 million jury award to the family of Santos Alvario Jr., a Hamilton man who was killed in 2018 when a New Jersey Transit train struck his car at a railroad crossing on Line Street. The jury awarded $50,000 for pain and suffering and $1.5 million under New Jersey's Wrongful Death Act to the Alvario family, according to published reports. The court agreed with a prior jury finding that New Jersey Transit was negligent, failing to fix a malfunctioning gate and arm and warning system, issues the agency reportedly knew about for more than 15 hours before the crash, according to reports. Alvario's brother, who was in the passenger seat and survived the crash, testified that the warning lights weren't flashing, the gates weren't down, and no train horn was sounded before impact, reports said. Expert witnesses supported his account. While NJ Transit argued that Alvario ignored warnings and drove through a lowered gate, their own expert admitted there was no physical evidence to support that claim. The jury ultimately concluded that the cause of the crash was not driver error, but a failure by NJ Transit to ensure proper safety measures were in place. The award includes compensation under the state's Wrongful Death Act. NJ Transit appealed, but the court found no errors in the trial process and said it was the jury's role to determine accountability, according to news articles. The Attorney General's office, representing NJ Transit, declined to comment on the ruling.
It's a sad day when anyone loses their family member, but when it's due to, and the court has ruled on this, the negligence of an agency, and it's something that could have been avoided, it's even a bigger tragedy. So I think when you see these awards and you wonder, that's a big number. The gentleman's gone, and
Yeah.
he didn't have to be. So that's
they're
the
not getting
reality.
him back.
Yeah, when you consider any amount, no amount will make up for that. And we've all seen there have been times when the arms go down and stay down and there's clearly an error or there's something wrong, the gates aren't flashing. But for them to know about this for 15 hours, and that's a long time for a train crossing to have malfunctioning warning systems.
Yeah.
That's a very long time.
Yeah, in a very real sense, it's fortunate that more people weren't injured or killed.
Yeah.
In that time, or before this accident, there could have been another accident. So I look at it as the jury and the courts have spoken, and it seems like a judgment that was clearly in the favor of the Alvario family. I won't bring him back, but it certainly will provide something that says, look, they did wrong, and that's on the record.
Yeah.
Joe, I saw there was an update on county and health. Do you want to fill us in?
Yeah, absolutely, I can do that. The Atlanta County Division of Public Health recently introduced the 2024 to 2027 Community Health Assessment, or the CHA. This is the culmination of a year long project to provide a framework to improve community health outcomes. Working with community partners and stakeholders as part of the Atlanta County Public Health Coalition and in cooperation with Strategic Health Solutions, participants identified community strengths and challenges with input from a community voices survey, interviews, and focus groups. Now, what they found, according to Atlanta County Public Health Officer Kara Jansen, they found that county residents have satisfactory access to a network of community based organizations and feel supported by local and grassroots advocacy. Language and cultural barriers, however, can limit access to health care for some, while access to health insurance and sufficient Medicaid providers and specialists can also create challenges. Systematic gaps in social services leave some at risk populations feeling vulnerable. They do have recommendations, though, and these include expanding affordable housing initiatives and rental assistance programs to mitigate housing instability, increasing culturally competent mental health services and reducing provider wait times, improving access to fresh, nutritious food resources, investing in public transportation infrastructure to improve mobility and healthcare access, incorporating child care support in workforce development initiatives, and helping residents understand their health and navigate services through continued education and support. Jansen said that findings highlight the need for a coordinated response to tackle challenges and drive systematic change, and the CHA will serve as a foundation for the upcoming Community Health Improvement Plan.
Okay. Sounds like a lot. I hope
Yeah.
we'll see some actionable steps that we'll understand and people can get excited about.
And a lot of their recommendations seem to be common sense recommendations. People have difficulty accessing services. Okay, we'll help them get to those services. People have difficulty buying actual nutritious food. Okay, we need to help them do that too. There are cultural barriers. We need to break those down. These are common sense recommendations, I would think.
Yeah. It's time for action, I think, is what I'm taking out of this. They have the reports, they have their studies, and now they're going to do
Yeah, they've got the
take some
actual
visible
document.
steps.
Yeah, the actual documentation to support that and back that up.
If people want a healthy and delicious meal, they only have to go to one place in Hammonton where they can get all the ingredients they need. And Gabe, where is that?
You are talking about Bagliani's Market,
Of course
Gina.
I am.
And at Bagliani's Market, they always say, we treat our customers like family. With a variety of custom cut meats, farm fresh produce, delicious cheeses, a full deli, and more, Bagliani's Market has something for everyone. They are famous for their wide variety of authentic Italian specialty products. Try their Italian bread and rolls, prepared foods, and homemade pasta. Follow their social media for weekly loyalty reward promos. Bagliani's Market is located at 417 12th Street in Hammonton. Call 609 561 0693 or visit Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Sounds great, Gabe. Maybe we can bring a hoagie and head to a concert in Buena Vista. Do you want to tell us what's happening there?
Buena Vista Township has a lineup for the summer of free summer concerts, and their free concert series starts June 18th. So get ready to enjoy live music, great food, and summer vibes under the open sky. The fun begins with a Juneteenth kickoff concert at the MLK Center on Wednesday, June 18th, with Lonnie Youngblood. And then there's chicken platters with all the fixins, which will be
Yum.
on sale this summer which will be on sale for that summer concert while supplies last. Now, after that, the party moves over to Michael Debby Park for the rest of the summer. So, entertainment at that park this year includes Lonnie Youngblood, our own DJ Nikki G, Kevin
Woohoo!
Grace. That's right. Kevin Grace, Group Therapy, Poor Mouth Henry, the Bittersweet Duo, and Duck and Cover. The concession stand will be open at 6 p.m. and bands will start at 7 p.m. So mark your calendars and start dreaming of summer nights filled with great tunes, dancing, and even better company.
Yeah, Nikki G's going to be there June 25th, so that's always a good time to go see Nikki G. The rain dates are August 6th and 13th, so hopefully they don't have any rain.
Yep.
But give it a shot because it's going to be fun. Joe, do you think you might head out for one?
I may very well go do that. June 25th is just a few days before the most important day of the year.
Oh my God, I threw up in my mouth.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Nikki always knows how to rile up a crowd, so I may do that.
It's all good.
Oh, Joe and Joe's birthday. Joe is looking to solicit gifts, people. That's what he's saying.
Sounds
What?
like it.
What-
Joe,
what
you're
do-
worse
what do you
than
mean?
me. You're worse than me
What?
talking about the 16th of July. That being my birthday. And by the way, gifts absolutely warranted. Come on. Anyone who wants to send them in, I'm all for it. See, I'll just ask. I don't care.
Send your gifts to P.O. Box.
That's
No.
right. No. Just kidding, everyone. Not really.
Just buy Joe a cup of coffee at the diner the next time you see him.
That's right.
Though.
Joe's right. Joe will take the cup of coffee. I'd take a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Well, you could celebrate the first day of summer at Maker's Handmade Pop-Up Farmers Market. That'll be Saturday, June 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 300 12th Street. This one-day event features a curated selection of handmade goods, fresh flowers, artisan sourdough bread, because let's be honest, everyone's baking great sourdough bread right now, locally roasted coffee, and other small batch treats. Guests are encouraged to shop small and support local makers, and all while enjoying sunny, community-filled atmosphere. Whether you're on the hunt for a unique gift or just want to spend a relaxing day outdoors, the market promises a great way to celebrate the first day of summer. And again, June 21st at Maker's Handmade, there's going to be a pop-up farmers market. And I think it should be fun.
Yeah, and have you noticed that we can't really show the logo or the ad for it, but it looks like the running of the sandwiches t-shirt.
Like a little loaf of bread, a coffee, and like a daisy.
Yeah, and they're running.
So, yeah.
Like they're running along. I don't
It
know.
looks like the
they're
flower
running
is
to the
running
market.
away.
Yeah.
So they're all little things you can get at the farmer's market. It's nice. They're doing a lot of nice marketing on this. And I hope it goes very well for them.
Yeah. And you're right, sourdough has seemed to become
Thing.
it's 2025's banana bread. Remember when we all baked banana bread in 2020?
No, you didn't bring us any to the office. Where was that, Joe?
Yeah,
We were in the middle of a pandemic. I couldn't bring you homemade goods because I might have breathed on it wrong, so I ate it all.
We still worked in an office together. Like not in an office, like we in an office building together.
Yeah. Thanks for thinking of us, Joe.
I ate it. It was the first time I ever made it, and it was remarkably tasty.
That is
I'm really bummed because over the weekend, what is that? White Barn Orchards we had a little farm stand, and they had homemade chocolate chip cookies, but it started raining and they closed before I got there, and I was so sad because I was like, oh, homemade chocolate chip cookies, that's my jam, like totally there. And I did think they had banana bread, so and sourdough, of course.
Of course, why wouldn't I?
If this makers event grows up bigger, like this pop-up farmers market, they may need to call one of our sponsors. They may need to call Domeglio Septic. Right, Joe?
They just might. And if they do, Domeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation are here for a variety of services, including septic pump out, grease trap service, high pressure jetting, portable toilets, and more. Call 609-561-3597 or go to domiglioseptic.com for Domeglio Septic, or call 609-561-4666 for Quality Sanitation. Experience the Domeglio difference, a promise of superior service, quality, and reliability.
Now, Joe, I'm not sure if you're like my husband, Gabe, but do you love trains, like model trains, all kinds of trains?
No.
I can take it or leave it.
Wow, you're the first boy I know who doesn't.
I like them. They're neat. But to say that I go crazy about them, like off the rails, no. Like when I was growing up, like we had my parents' O-scale train that would go around the Christmas tree every year, and my friend Jay had a train track. I think it was HO scale that was set up in his basement. But most of the time, we just took the weight because kids are stupid. Children do not attempt this at home. We would take the weights out of the cars and put them on the tracks and shock ourselves.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking, but if you were wondering, along with the bump on my head from when I was 2, yes, I had several traumas as a child that made me the way that I am. So
yeah, they sound self-inflicted.
They are.
Then never mind. This event is not for you. Gabe, please listen. The Cape Atlantic Railroad Club is having some events at the clubhouse located at 244 Philadelphia Avenue in Egg Harbor City. They're having some open houses, and they're going to take place the third Saturday of the month from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And everyone is welcome to join. Admission is free, donations are welcome. And so the first event that you can go to upcoming is June 21st, then July 19th, August 9th, in conjunction with the Egg Harbor City Food Trucks Festival, which is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then it continues on into the fall. I thought this was something different. I didn't know this was even there. They also have another event that goes on down the shore, I believe. So again, maybe you and I will go, Gabe, but we will never
I,
tell Joe about it.
we're not going to bore Joe with the details. Look, the point
But I'll
is
be sure
that
to tell Tony McCree how you feel about trains.
yeah, it's
I
nice.
said model trains. I didn't say trains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, big
Uh,
difference.
I guess what I'd say to you is, and maybe this is the best way to say this. I love trains. I love the big
I
trains.
know.
I like the small trains. This event is good for me. I just wanted to say that basically, from my standpoint, I'm looking forward to this event. But on your point, what I heard today about you asking Joe about whether he liked trains or not and him saying no reminds me of when I was college. I was in college and I was like talking to somebody and I'm like, of course you like Billy Joel. And they're like, no, conversation,
Conversation
stop.
ender.
Like, what? How
Very
does that?
heartbreaking, Joe. Very
Yeah,
I mean,
but
heartbreaking.
it
that
happens.
being said, I do have it came in a little metal tin. I do have a little track that's maybe yay big with a singular car that will go around, and every now and again I take it out and I set it up and it makes me smile for a few minutes. But to say that I would go to a train store, no, not my thing.
Let's stick in Egg Harbor City. The Summer Reach registration is now open. It is the 21st CCLC Reach Recreation, Enrichment, Academics, Character, and Health Summer Program. And this is available to Egg Harbor City Public School students currently in grades 3rd through 7th. The Summer Reach program will run in person from July 7th to July 31st from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the kids will take part in project based activities that include STEAM, learning, which is science, technology,
And
education, engineering, arts, and
There
math,
you go. There you go.
learning, character education, career awareness, civic engagement, technology, and physical wellness, all while reinforcing skills in math, science, ELA, and social studies. Attendance is critical not only for the students to get the most out of the programs, but to also maintain federal funding. Enrollment is first come, first served by grade level, and space is limited. A waitlist will be created once spots are all filled. For more information or to register, visit the Egg Harbor City Schools website or contact Program Director Donald Dulay at ddulay@eggharborcityschools.com, and the program is funded through the federal 21st Century Community Learning Center grant in partnership with the New Jersey Department of Education. It sounds like a cool summer school, but still summer school-ish. And
yeah,
for three indoor cats, maybe we would have liked this.
I probably would have enjoyed this, honestly. It's the first part of the day. It goes, what did it say? It goes from 8 to 12, I believe it said,
Yes.
which isn't
Yes.
bad. And it comes with breakfast and lunch.
Oh yeah.
Um, so that's cool. I probably would have enjoyed this, especially since it seems like this would cover things that you don't normally cover in class. This is extra stuff. Like when I was that age, yeah, at least until sixth grade hit when I would have had to have been at the farm every day, but from third through fifth, yeah, would have loved this.
I think it's obviously a great idea. Like you said, in our day, we keep saying how, boy, there's so much more available now. But good childhoods.
I know you're saying that everything was different when we were in school. I also know we also walked 2 miles uphill every day, but that's not necessarily.
As funny as that line is, I think the thing is, Gina, that we did have a lot less stuff. There's no two
Different.
ways about it. It's not about saying that we were, I don't think we're being hyperbolic. I think what we're saying is the kids of today have a lot more advantages because things are more geared. We don't even get into the sports. The sports machine that we have in this town and country, you have so many more options than we did. We had Little League, we had Bulldogs basketball, we had Hawks football. There was a couple things else that you could do back
Soccer,
then.
you had wrestling. You had
No,
all the
we did not have soccer, and we did not have wrestling. For youth, we did not. And we
No.
had deck hockey. That's what we had, street hockey. So I would say to you, what we're trying to say is there's a lot more opportunities for kids, which is a great thing. I think we're not trying to disparage it. We think it's
I would
No,
fantastic.
say that
no.
we
And
had more freedom than the kids do today.
we had more free time. Yes, absolutely. Kids today seem to have a lot more structured schedule because they have this activity and they have that activity and they have that activity. Whereas, like my friends and I, we either played outside or we played video games. And along those lines, they now have esports,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
essentially organized scholastic video game playing, and they have scholarships for that. And I can't imagine I would have been a king if esports were available when
Right.
I was in school. Forget
So,
about going to school for whatever I decided. I would have majored in Mario Brothers, and I would have been valedictorian of whatever college I went to.
so there's no options, I think, like that when we were kids. And I also think in between, look, let's face it, people got a heck of a lot more protective of their children than they were not that the parents weren't protective. Let me say it a different way. There were less perceived threats and there was less organized playtime than there is
Yeah.
now because people want it structured and they want people around with eyeballs on the kids so that you don't wind up on the, what was it, the milk carton. That was the big thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. So you're
Yeah.
not in
Or
the
your
milk
kid
carton.
doesn't ride his bike to the Hamilton Mall.
What?
Let's say.
What?
What are you
I,
trying to say?
I don't know
I
anyone who did
wanted a
that.
Cinnabon. Okay.
Yeah. They're delicious.
Joe, what you needed was for your parents to call our sponsor, Master Wire, to build a fence and fence you in.
Yep, absolutely. Because had that been the case, then I may not have been able to climb over it. But
Fair.
had they called, and they would have been around when I was a kid, because for more than 40 years, Masterwire Manufacturing Fence Company has been providing the South Jersey and tri-state area with residential and commercial fence supplies and services. Whether you're looking for quality products to do it yourself or are in need of a trustworthy fencing company to install your fence, they've got you covered. Masterwire Manufacturing Fence Company provides the highest quality products and customer service to each and every person who walks through their doors or gives them a call. Contact Masterwire at 609 567 1616 or visit their website at masterwirefence.net.
Thanks, Joe. Hammonton finally made it to one of those crazy website lists, and it was on the 6 most affordable towns to retire to in New Jersey. And this was on worldatlas.com. I know nothing about this site. I am not endorsing this site, but I do love the fact that Hammonton gets a little mention. And it says with a population of around 15,000, Hammonton's cost of living is slightly below the state average, with median home prices around $243,000 on average. I think that's what the word median means. So again, this is not a great scholarly paper.
But
Like with Rahway and Haddonfield, Hammonton is a very walkable town. Unfortunately, Hammonton does not have its own hospital, but there are 4 within Atlantic County that are accessible and service the region. We have 3 urgent cares, an emergency department, some
yeah.
great imaging, and the most amount of physical therapy I've seen in any one town. This town holds the title of Blueberry Capital of the World, home to the Wharton State Forest, several wineries, including Plagidos and Whitehorse. Actually, Whitehorse is in Winslow,
Yep.
and the Atsign Lake and Recreation Area. No mention of Batstow. Hammonton is a tiny but outdoor-centric artistic community. Oh, I love that. Hammonton is known for its hiking, biking, canoeing, and camping, as well as its abundance of historical sites, museums, and tours. Hello, restaurants, great schools, but then again, you're retired. I don't know. Civic life, all the events, the canoe club. I don't know. I think they've missed out, but I'm happy to see us.
Yeah. And the more you read, and the more you seem to almost be like, yes, and it says this. Oh, this is wrong. Oh, it says they forgot this. But we still made a list.
I'm always
Even
going to be an
yeah,
editor. I'm still always going to be
yeah.
an editor.
Even if
Yeah,
they
I
didn't
mean,
necessarily do their homework, we made the list. Yeah.
I think once again, it's nice to see because if we were just complaining how Vineland gets all the attention, I feel like we should be elated that we're on a list. Even though we don't know the real derivation of the list, because instead of hearing about Vineland all the time or other places, now it's all we're on the list. We've made the list, so I say we celebrate it. We revel in our status as a place where people want to come and retire. And we want to take our retirees who want to come here, and we also want them to recreate and also spend their money here. So we're all for that.
Huzzah.
And we have Pulte homes if they want to move in as a over. Is that over 55 community?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And we also have Silver Terrace. And if we want to count just the 08037, they can go to Elmtown.
Yeah.
And Joe will appreciate this. We have 3 cemeteries waiting for them.
Absolutely.
So they can retire here and then stay here as residents for
And
years after.
and if they move to Pulte, that's right down the street from at least one of the cemeteries.
That's right. Oak Grove, right down the street,
Yeah,
conveniently
it's just
located.
coast right downhill, and it's a downslope. So
That's right. Just as it would be for them to go from living to being a resident of Oak Grove. It's a slow downslope.
yeah, that's again nice bit of synchronicity there.
Oh
I
my
like
God, you two are incorrigible.
Come on.
I guess they could also make a stop perhaps onto, oh, I don't know, 206 to the Spring Village at Hammonton, a Woodbine senior living community, which was formerly the Heritage.
Right.
That recently held a ribbon cutting to celebrate the new ownership. So they could go from Pulte up 206 to Spring Village, maybe do a little detour at Atlantic Care's urgent care or to the emergency department, and then eventually end up with Joe. And this is a full service town. We'll take care of
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Or they could go to Marinella's too. Look at this. We've plotted out the rest of a retiree's life. We took care of it all.
Yeah.
They're
All they
set.
need to do is write the check. Yeah.
They're good. They're good.
Oh, thank goodness we already live here. That's all I have to say.
That's until they run us out of here. Yeah.
That could happen any day. You know what? We might end up in Atlantic City. Atlantic City, this is my weird fact for the week about New Jersey. Did you know that the Atlantic City Boardwalk is both the oldest and longest boardwalk in the world? Opened in 1870, it stretches approximately 5.5 miles along the Jersey Shore, and it's a timeless piece of seaside history.
I did know that it was the oldest.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was the longest. So I
That's what
learned
the internet
something.
tells me, so therefore it's true.
It
Well,
must
no,
be true.
yeah, because it stretches from Atlantic City down through Ventnor, so I could see that.
Have you ever walked the entire thing or rode your bike on it? Rollerbladed, if we want to talk about how vintage we are?
I have never rollerbladed a day in my life.
Really?
Really?
He'd sooner go visit a train show than rollerblade. That's
I-
the
Rollerblade
level.
all the time in the 90s.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was never very good on roller skates, and they were wider. I could get around well enough, but rollerblades, no, never even owned a pair. Ice skated a couple of times, but I've never rollerbladed.
Did you ride your bike the entire length or walk or run the entire length of the Atlantic City Boardwalk?
Oh, yes, getting back on topic, I don't believe
Yes,
that I have
that's my job.
ever walked the entire length of the boardwalk. No, I've walked from the end in Ventnor to the end of Ventnor, and then I would walk from one end of the whatever the last casino is down to like where the Trop is and so forth. But to say I've done it all in one stretch, I have not. No.
Gabe, you?
No, never. I've been on the boardwalk in both Atlantic City and Ventnor, but never run or walked or biked the length of it. But
I
it is
think-
impressive. It's an impressive boardwalk for sure.
Yeah, I think I've only done like a mile for some fundraiser or something, maybe like Shirley May or something like that. But no, I've never done the entire 5.5 miles. And I haven't rollerbladed in decades, so that's definitely not happening.
And I've certainly never run that entire length. I don't believe I've run 5 miles in my entire life combined.
I don't think anyone, unless someone's chasing you, Joe's not running. Maybe a spider?
No, usually it's away from bees or towards the ice cream man. But
Okay,
yeah,
understood. Gabe, if our new retirees to Hampton are looking for something fun to do, what's happening on the calendar?
The calendar, as was sponsored by Rocco's Townhouse, and Rocco's Townhouse prides themselves on being a spot where everyone can meet and eat. Delicious appetizers, entrees, burgers, and more, along with a full bar and plenty of craft beers on tap. Remember, everyone meets at the Townhouse, 21 North 3rd Street in Hammonton. Call them at 609 561 9384 or visit roccostownhouse.com. And now the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar. Come to Rocco's Townhouse after heading to the 116th Feast of St. John the Baptist on Tuesday, June 24th at 6 p.m. Join us along the new procession route, then swing by the after party at 226 Pratt Street for food, beer, and wine. Beard Fest returns to Paradise Lakes Campground from June 26th to 30th, 2025. This celebration of music, art, and community will feature live performances, workshops, and immersive experiences. New this year, Sunday will feature light programming, perfect for relaxing and connecting before heading home. Books, brews, and doggos come together for the literary love affair pop-up at Snouts and Stouts Brewing on Sunday, June 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. Stop by this dog-friendly brewery to sip craft beer, browse a curated selection of romance, fantasy, thrillers, and more, and pick up exclusive bookish merch and freebies. Pups are welcome, entry is free, and there's something for every kind of reader. Join the Vineland Historical and Antiquarian Society for a day in the garden on Saturday, June 21st at 11 a.m. at 108 South 7th Street, Vineland, New Jersey. Enjoy a talk from author Deborah Ein on local naturalist Mary Treat, a native gardening presentation by Meredith Koenig, and hands-on nature mandala making with local author Tila Talise. The museum will be open for self-guided tours, and guests are encouraged to bring a favorite recipe using Jersey fresh fruits or vegetables to share. This free event is open to the public. Please register in advance to help with planning.
More information about all these events can be found online. Guys, it's blueberry season, and I love fresh blueberries. I can eat them by the pint. I think they're amazing. I love seeing them come into the stores and at the farm markets. So that's what brings us to this week's odd poll question. How do you like your blueberries? And we're going to be a little specific. Do you like them by the pint, in a warm, crumbly muffin, in a classic slice of blueberry pie, maybe in a cannoli? Or are you like, ew, they're overrated and weirdly squishy? Joe?
I do not like fresh blueberries.
Oh,
I never
Ah,
have. I never
you're about to
have.
lose your Joe Bernato card.
it's
Look,
right up. It's right up there
Whatever,
with roller.
Steve.
It's right up there with rollerblading and train shows for Joe.
it's no secret. I've never made it a secret. When I was a farmer, people would come and say, "How are the blueberries today?" And I'd say, "Why don't you tell me?" Um,
I
'cause-
would have turned to you as
yeah.
your father and said, "Shame,
Well,
shame
I
on
mean,
you."
like, from the first one that I had when I was a kid, I've never liked them. The skin I find to be too bitter, and it just throws the whole thing off for me. But I do like them cooked in moderation. I like them in muffins as long as they're not so many that the bottom falls off. And my sister Annie used to make this like blueberry sour cream cake that was just out of this world. And of course, I like blueberry cannoli, and I like blueberry, but I don't think that counts as an actual flavor.
Or
No.
food.
No, it was food adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabe, how about you for blueberries?
I like fresh blueberries. I used to like them on oatmeal. I don't really
Okay.
eat that way anymore. But I think for me, I like blueberries and cream. I liked blueberries baked into muffins, that sort of thing. I like that. How about you, Gina?
Straight from the pint is my favorite.
Straight from the pot.
Maybe a nice muffin, but not an overly done muffin. I'm not a pie person in general. And cannoli, I'm a purist. I don't really like the traditional cannoli flavors, but I don't like a bland blueberry. I like them when they're a little more tart.
Okay.
I don't like them when they're just like taste like water.
Yeah.
I don't know what variety that is, but that's me.
So
That really all depends on the weather, truthfully,
Okay.
whether or not they taste like water. If there's been too much rain, then they'll puff up too quickly, and there's not much you could do about that because at least farmers know the right amount of irrigation, but no one can control the weather
Mother
yet.
Nature is her own thing.
Yeah.
She's her own being.
yep.
Gabe, we're excited to announce a new sponsor this week. Can you tell us?
We want to welcome United Roll-Off. Our friends at United Roll-Off have stepped up and wanted to join the fun of sponsoring the Jersey Oddcast. We're happy to have them. If you're looking for fast, reliable dumpster service, call United Roll-Off Service and Recycling LLC. Family owned by the Grasso family and proudly serving South Jersey since 1999. 3 generations strong, United Roll-Off is your local solution for household cleanouts, construction debris, concrete, and yard waste with 11, 20, and 30-yard dumpsters ready when you need them. Serving Hammonton and all of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, and Gloucester counties, we've got the size, service, and local touch you can trust. Visit us at 735 Wiltsey's Mill Road, Hammonton, or call 609-561-8287 to get started today. United Roll-Off, local, loyal, and ready to haul.
We're excited to have them and welcome to the Jersey Oddcast family.
It's great.
We have sad news. A man drowned in a lake in Winslow Township last week. On Thursday, I believe that would have been June 12th, Winslow Township police were sent to a drowning investigation at Penbryn Lake in the Tansboro section of the township. It was reported to police that a man was swimming in the lake and he went underwater, but he never came back up. Search and rescue efforts were immediately enacted to look for the man who was believed to be at 27 years old. His body was found near the area where he was last swimming, according to police reports and according to multiple published reports. At the time of this recording, the name of the victim was not released, and a number of first responder departments from Camden County came out to help and look for this gentleman. Again, this is just a reminder of being safe where you swim. Try not to swim in an area where there isn't a lifeguard if you're in a public pond or lake, and avoid swimming in some of the former sand pits that are around this area. You need to be safe. You never know what you're going to find, and if you're not a strong swimmer, don't get in the water if there's not a lifeguard on duty. Go to the beach, go to a community pool, but don't take a chance like that.
Yeah.
It's just a tragedy.
Sorry to hear about it. Very sorry.
Yeah. In better news, I guess, a golf course is being ready to open, I believe, next year, and it's tied to a professional athlete, and that's happening in Vineland. Gabe, what's happening?
It's a massive new development, this golf course, and it has local ties, but also national and international ties. And by that, I mean it's called Trout National, the Reserve Golf Club. The owner is Mike Trout, who is obviously a Major League Baseball superstar with the Angels, the Anaheim Angel, and two local business persons, John and Lori Ruga, who own Northeast Pine Precast in Vineland. A lot of concrete work that they do. It's a huge, I don't even know where to begin, but I will say that it is, the level of the room is they brought in Tiger Woods and his TGR design to design the course. So he's been in Vineland himself, Tiger, multiple times during the process. They're building an enormous clubhouse, obviously the size of a golf course. And there's also a public 9-hole course it's going to be called Silica Sands. It's not affiliated with Trout National, but it's next door to the Trout National course. So you're talking about 280 acres in Vineland. And its main entrance will be on Mays Landing Road, close to the old Vineland Tavern. And it's just like I said, a large course. It extends back to the other side of Hants Bridge Road. So there's going to be a golf cart tunnel underneath the roadway so that golfers can move freely throughout the course without having to worry about traffic. So this is
Okay, that's
a,
cool.
a
Yeah,
massive
that's nice.
undertaking. Yeah, and get this: you heard about the precast people who are involved. The entire 280-acre course is going to be surrounded by a large concrete wall. So that's amazing. The whole thing will be brought together by this wall, and that's being built. You're talking about encasing 280 acres with a wall. And that clubhouse building I mentioned, it's
Yeah,
just 35,000 square feet. That's all, with a pro shop and a garage and a restaurant and bar. And there's going to be 6 different private lodge buildings, a maintenance facility, a front entrance gatehouse, comfort stations for golfers, a separate casual
Wow.
restaurant and bar, a golf training center. And the last phase will include, I kid you not, if it's built, I guess it's going to get built, a heliport and a 22,000 square foot private lodge. So big things happening in Vineland. Sometimes we kid about Vineland, but wow. They're not messing around.
Yeah,
This
and
isn't.
this is supposed to open at
Yeah,
least, and
I'm
this is supposed
sorry.
to open next spring, so that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
that's
It's
that's
it's big.
its own heliport. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a little extra, but maybe they feel like, hey, with the kind of clientele they're going to have, that's
Yep.
going to be a big part of what the attraction is. It sounds like this is something that is going to be exclusive and something that is going to be really next level for Vineland. So,
Any truth to the rumor that the heliport is being put in for Mike Teresi so he could take off from Hammonton and
yeah,
land there?
Mike,
Our
Mike himself,
assemblyman.
yeah, Assemblyman Mike Teresi, would he be the kind of guy who would take his own private chopper? I'm not saying he has one, but and then fly out there for a round of golf and then fly back to continue. Look, Gina, we know that Mike is just folks. I don't know why you would say such a thing about Michael. It's not right.
How is he doing in the lawn wars, Joe? Have you looked at his lawn and looked at
I try and
Atlantic County Clerk
stay. I
Geraldo's?
I try and stay out of the feud between Assemblyman Teresi and County Clerk Girallo. I have not seen his lawn as of late. I know that Joe Girallo has been staying on top of his, and I can only imagine that Assemblyman Teresi is meeting his lawn with equal or greater force.
Well,
Yeah.
So
perhaps we should do a mid-July update and let the people know how the lawn wars are going.
And we should check if he's got a helipad that he's put in on his property, Assemblyman Teresi, just to make sure.
Or maybe
This is
above
just
his corporate offices at One White Horse Center.
I
that's
was
right.
just going to say,
Maybe on
roof of that building might be the perfect place for that. Yeah.
yeah. Why not?
And
Why
just
not?
speaking of people who care about their lawns, let's talk about Ben Casto Landscaping and what's coming up for our weather.
Okay, since you mentioned it, it certainly sounds like it's time for the Oddcast forecast, according to the app on my smartphone, and sponsored by Ben Castone Landscaping. Call Ben Castone for all your landscaping needs at 609 561 3452. They're here to keep your yard looking great no matter what the season. And this year, Ben Castone Landscaping is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Ben Castone thanks his customers, family, and friends for all their support and is looking forward to many more years of service. Now, insofar as how the weather is looking, I've been noticing a pattern over the last several weeks. I don't know if the two of you have also, but seems to be cool and rainy and miserable on the weekend and then hot Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And here we are again. So Wednesday, we're looking at a high of 85 and a low of 72, and there's a chance of thunderstorms, of course. Thursday, we're looking at a high of 91 and a low of 67, and surprise, there's a chance of thunderstorms, of course. And Friday, not so much a chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy to clear, with a high of 86 and a low of 65. So,
Nice.
yeah, we do seem to be in a bit of a recurring pattern here with the weather.
I read a thing online that over the weekend that said 12 weekends from March 1st through the present, there's been rain.
That sounds
Crazy.
about right. Yeah,
Crazy.
and when you consider that we had 12 weeks of no rain last year, I guess Mother Nature's trying to make up for it.
Yeah. And congratulations to Ben Castone Landscaping on 25 years. I think that's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Guys,
It's not 165, but
right.
congratulations, Ben.
You were
Oh my
not
God.
there at the beginning of your thing. Ben was
Gabe
there
was, though.
at the beginning of your thing. I was not there.
Yeah.
I do have many, as they call them now, residents who are my family members who were there. Maybe not 165 years. About Ben, we have to say, and I have to say personally, known him a long time, pretty much the whole time he's been in business. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Gina and Joe, you guys have known him the same way. Also, when we started something new here with the Jersey Oddcast, Ben was the first person to jump on board and support
Mm-hmm.
us as he wanted to do the weather and bringing back that fun for Joe. And I just wanted to say thank you to Ben Castone for all his support, not only of the Jersey Oddcast and not only of the previous incarnations of media, but also as a friend. And I appreciate it very much.
Joe,
Yeah.
if people want to find us online or in real life or any other way, how can they do that?
For more information or for sponsorship opportunities, email us at jerseyoddcast@gmail.com. Call us at 609-444-6178. Listen to us on YouTube or your favorite podcast service, or visit our website, jerseyoddcast.com.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate your time. We'll be back with more chaos, commentary, and community because someone's got to do it. See you next week.
See you next week.